You are Locked On 76ers Postcast, part of Locked On Sports Philadelphia, on the Locked On Podcast Network. Your team every day.
Okay. All right. Welcome into the show, everybody. This is the Locked On 76ers Postcast. My name is Mark Farzetta. It's great to have you along for the ride. Make sure you like and subscribe, because not only do I got you covered for your Locked On 76ers Postcast, me and Keith Pompey also have you covered for your Locked On 76ers Daily Podcast as well. So make sure you like and subscribe. You know, this is usually an easy thing after a loss like this to a top contending team, even without Cade Cunningham, a very well-rounded team, a very well-coached team. And the Sixers, not so much tonight, unfortunately. But it's easy to jump to hustle. It's easy to jump to things like that in a loss like this. And when you look at the rebounding, especially when it comes to the two centers that you had tonight, those are easy things to jump to. The Sixers just did not have it at all tonight. You look at the way they played in that first half, and it was the first quarter, really. Couldn't come up with the clutch shots. They were trying to 2 for 9 from beyond the arc to start things off. Ice cold, very similar to the way they started things off last night. And as the game was going on, you certainly had the sense that they just weren't going to have it. On a night with back-to-backs and all that, it certainly reared its ugly head tonight. And the Sixers had opportunities in that fourth quarter. And I actually give credit to Nick Nurse for acknowledging that it wasn't going to be the Sixers night in that fourth quarter. They started things out in that fourth quarter with one bucket in the first 7 minutes, 11:19 of the fourth quarter to start things out. Adem Bona follows up a VJ Edgecombe bricked three and slams it down with great authority. And hey, maybe the Sixers will get something going. Maybe they'll get a little life after that. And you know what happened? No life. Sixers did not get another bucket until Dom Barlow hit a layup. It was the 11:16 mark that you got the follow-up jam there from Adem Bona to the 5:15 mark of the fourth quarter. That was the next points you got. No. Listen, not the next bucket, the next points at all. Like not even the free throw hit in that time span. That is god-awful. And then 4:30, just put it. Justin Edwards, go get some run. Trenton Watford, go get some run. Jabari Walker, hey, I remember you're on the team. You play too. It was done. I actually give Nick Nurse credit for saying, all right, that's a wrap, boys. That's we're done. But the Sixers had their opportunities in the early goings, especially defensively, when at that same time that the Sixers were going through that horrible stretch in the first 6 minutes of the fourth quarter, the Pistons only netted 5 points in that span. Meanwhile, you're seeing Paul George brick a three. You're seeing Tyrese Maxey not be able to convert threes, seeing guys miss layups, guys complain to get fouls that they weren't getting, and in a lot of those cases, they were absolutely justified. But if there's a bottom line to it tonight, the bottom line is very simple, and I do believe this is what you'll be talking about tomorrow. 2 things, this is one of them.
This is what you'll be talking about.
Number one. Your centers, and these are connected because I'm going to talk about the centers in this scenario, all right? Tonight, your centers, Adem Bona and Andre Drummond, came up with a grand total of 7 rebounds combined. Drummond played 18 minutes tonight. Adem Bona played 23. Your leading rebounder tonight was VJ Edgecombe with a whopping 6 rebounds on the evening. That is pathetic. Second chance points in the first quarter alone, thanks to some great offensive rebounds there by the Detroit Pistons, 14-7, doubling up the Sixers. That was the tone setter for tonight. And when you didn't have Joel Embiid playing in this game, he said last night that there was a chance he might play. I didn't think he would play, but he said there was a chance he didn't play. That's that. We'll get to that in a second. But all in all, you need better center play than that. And you certainly can't allow in the early goings of this game to just be getting blown off the basketball the way the 76ers were blown off the basketball tonight from the Detroit Pistons. And if you look at that first half, they were getting out-rebounded 21-11, so literally getting doubled up. They both hit 6 threes. Both teams hit 6 threes in the first half. The Pistons, though, shot 46% from three, taking the most advantage of their opportunities, while the Sixers were 6 of 18, a whopping 33% in that regard. Now, as far as going back to the center play, not just rebounding, but when it comes to Joel Embiid not playing in a game like this, I don't know if the Sixers just thought they didn't have a chance to win it, even if Embiid played. I don't know if they're worried about Embiid's wrist injury, if they're worried about his oblique injury, or if they still think he's got a case of the sniffles. They didn't want him letting it rip tonight. Maybe they want to save him for Wemby, which, by the way, the Spurs are going to be hot to trot when it comes to the fact that they're still going to be going after their 60th win of the season when they face off against the 76ers. Next, they lost in overtime tonight to Denver, and they're going to be eager to get home and get that 60th win of the season. But as much as I want to see Joel Embiid play tonight, I don't think all his anger is directed at Daryl Morey. And quite frankly, I think this is going beyond some film session here. If Joel Embiid wants to play, he should play. If Joel Embiid feels like he can play, then he should play. The Sixers shouldn't be holding him out, especially at this point in the season when they're trying to avoid the play-in tournament, so you actually do get a substantial break at the end of the season and have to go right back into playing. Maybe you'll get away with being the 7th seed, just play one game, boom, done, all good. But you could also have to play a lot more games, unfortunately, and not get that time off. Really, it's about the time off more so than it's the games you got to play. So, for me, look, if Joel Embiid's able to go out there and he's able to play and he's going to be all pissy about the fact that he can't go out there and play, just let him play. Just reward him like he's a toddler. Just let him go play. Because this is the thing that I always took from that ESPN article back in the summer. If he's telling you he's 100%, then he's going to play. If he's telling you he can play, then he's got to go play. And if he's going to take the real accountability of his own injuries, well, guess what, Sixers? You got to do that too. And I know a lot of times I would side with the Sixers and say, no, you got to save Embiid from himself. But when it's down the stretch like this and you're trying to get on the same page with these guys, and Paul George is just coming back, and we're seeing some of the best basketball we have seen from Paul George as a 76er, and getting on the same page again with Tyrese Maxey and those three and letting Kelly Oubre do his thing, then you got to get them on the court. They got to be able to play together. Otherwise, as I told you a month ago, get ready for the excuse train. Because the excuse, oh, man, it's going to be making so much noise when that pulls into the station. Oh, these guys didn't get enough time to play together. You give them enough time to play together, they're going to be great. Well, they should have had time to play together at the end of the season, but you wanted to keep Joel Embiid out of the lineup time and time again. Now, the other part of this, because I always go to this, and this goes back to what I always quote J.J. Redick with when he was with the 76ers, when he called Joel Embiid, I think he called him, the quote exactly is top 3 most dramatic players he's ever played with. And he might be number 1 now with a bullet. This all could just be for show. This could all just be Joel Embiid knows he shouldn't play, knows that he's not close to 100%, knows the Sixers are right in not allowing him to play, but still going, oh, guys, how did you not let me play? This could all just be part of the show for Joel Embiid. I don't think it is, but with him, I certainly wouldn't put it past him even a little bit. We're going to get into the Sixers trying to pick up the pieces next when they take on the San Antonio Spurs when we come back. We're also going to get into just one thing I found in particular tonight that was very weak from the Sixers. Get to that when we return. This is Locked On 76ers Postcast on Locked On 76ers YouTube channel. Like and subscribe. We'll also take a look at the schedule ahead in a moment. Right now, it's time to tell you about FanDuel and how you guys have been taking advantage of all FanDuel has to offer, especially when it comes to tournament time. FanDuel is giving new customers a way to stay in on the action all tournament long. You get up to $300 back in bonus bets every day for 10 days. That means 10 chances to stay involved throughout the entire tournament. You can mix it up however you want. Game picks, futures, and even same-game parlays for a bigger potential payout. If right now, for you as a Hoops fan, is the perfect time, it's also the perfect time for FanDuel. FanDuel gives you $300 back, up to $300 back in bonus bets every day for 10 days. Perfect for the tournament because every day there's something new, different matchups, storylines, more ways to get involved as the brackets unfold. So visit FanDuel.com to sign up today. That's FanDuel.com to get in on the action. And the GameTime app is where it's at, a ticketing site that really gives the advantage back to the fans. And let's face it, there's nothing like being in the NBA arena. The crowd, the energy, usually, and the moments. Oh, they're spectacular. Getting tickets, though, that could be a big part of the hassle. But not with the GameTime app, because the GameTime app literally gives the advantage back to the fans. You pull up the GameTime app, you pick up an NBA game, Pick up NBA game tickets within minutes, and you're going to love seeing the all-in pricing up front. So there's no surprises when you check out, no surprise fees. Being able to see the seat's vantage point before you buy it also really makes the decision so much easier. And zone deals really stand out to you. You can choose the section, and Game Time picks the seats, and you save big. Great last-minute ticket options as well. So take the guesswork out of buying tickets with the Game Time app, especially when it comes to NBA games. Download the Game Time app, create an account, and use promo code LOCKEDON for $20 off your first purchase. That's promo code LOCKEDON for $20 off your first purchase. Download the Game Time app today. And remember, it's gametime.co, not gametime.com. And how about Robinhood? This is fantastic. What if sports were traded like markets? Now you can put your sports IQ to work in real time with Robinhood prediction markets. It's not you against the house. It's you participating in a live market. You can buy or sell your positions live all game long. Use your sports knowledge in the moments that matter. Robinhood prediction markets changes the game. It's people moving the action, so when the momentum shifts, you can move with it. You always knew you knew the game, but never had that dynamic way to apply the knowledge. Now you can actually take part live in a market powered by people. You're no longer just a spectator. It's play-by-play. You decide. Trade every play with Robinhood. Now available across the United States. Download the Robinhood app now to begin. Well, here's the rest of the schedule for the 76ers. You got the W against Minnesota, the loss tonight against Detroit. Now, Monday, you go on the road for the next 3 games. You got San Antonio Monday. Then Thursday, the first leg of a back-to-back. First, you're in Houston against the Rockets, and then Friday, you're in Indiana to take on the Pacers at 7:30 before coming home to round things out for the season. April 12th, Sunday, against Milwaukee in South Philadelphia. I mentioned one more thing that stuck out to me about this game, and it really comes down to that third quarter. Sixers, I mentioned in the fourth quarter, had an opportunity when their defense, to their credit, only limited the Pistons to 5 points in the first 7 minutes of that fourth quarter. But in the third, Sixers really hit a huge rut. They go down by as many as 21 points in that third quarter. And I had to go back and look at this because I heard Kate Scott mention this during the broadcast. But at one point, from the second quarter into the third quarter, the Pistons went on a 32-13 run in that span. 32-13. As great as PG had been, as great as Maxey had been, ice cold until they started picking things up midway through that third quarter, but still allow that to a team like the Pistons. Not great, obviously. Maxey, by the way, 14 points in the first quarter, had a big old nothing burger in the second quarter. PG was able to come alive a little bit more in that third quarter, but Maxey really started to get his stroke back in that one. He came up with 9 points in that one. PG came up with, at that point, I'm sorry, it was the third quarter he came a little bit more alive. Or excuse me, first quarter, he came out hot and cooled down. Only 2 points in that third quarter, unfortunately, for Paul George. That's the show, ladies and gentlemen. Make sure you like and subscribe to Locked On 76ers. And Keith Pompey and I have you covered each and every day, Monday through Friday, with Locked On 76ers Daily Podcast. On Monday, I know we'll be getting into the San Antonio Spurs matchup that comes up at 8 o'clock. By the way, both those Texas games, they are at 8 o'clock, so an hour later than usual. We'll be with you guys to break those down. I'll be with you guys on the postcast to break them down each and every time after those. And Keith and I will have you ready Monday morning as well as Thursday morning, and leading up to that game on Thursday against the Houston Rockets, where they hope to just put up the same kind of effort that they did against the Minnesota Timberwolves, where they looked like they were all on the same page. And maybe, just maybe, you see Joel Embiid come out there for that Houston game, and then probably sitting out Friday against the Indiana Pacers in the second leg of that back-to-back before you go any further from that point on. Thanks for listening. Thanks for watching. My name is Mark Farzetta. Make sure you guys like and subscribe. Locked On 76ers. Be back with you guys later in the week. See you then.